Now next kingdom is animal kingdom. In this kingdom all the animals are included. The characteristic of this kingdom is they don't have chlorophyll and cell wall around their cell, and as of they don't have chlorophyll, they cannot prepare their own food, so they are dependent the on the other animals or other another plants for the food. Now let us see the classification of these animals. Animal kingdom. These animals are divided into 10 groups, and let us see each one by one in detail. First one is Porifera, also known as sponge. They are aquatic and non-motile animals attached to some solid support. They have pores all over the body, forming a canal system which help to circulate water and bring food and oxygen. Means these are the aquatic and non-motile animals. Means they cannot move and they are attached to some solid support. They have pore all over the body, forming the canal system which help them to circulate water and bring food and oxygen for them. They have hard skeleton and do not have any tissue. The examples of Porifera is Spongilla, Cyclone and Euplectylia. These are the pictures of organism from Porifera. Now next group is Coelenterata. The characteristic of this group is they are aquatic animal, and there is cavity in the body known as coelom. Means what is the coelom? Coelom, which means the cavity found in the body known as coelom. The body has two layers of cell, the outer layer and inner layer. Some live in colony and other as a single cell or sing individually. The examples of Coelenterata is coral, hydra, jellyfish and sea anemone. You can see in the picture the different organism from this group. The first picture is of coral, second picture is of jellyfish and third picture is of sea anemone. Next group is Platyhelminthus, which is also known as flatworm. They have flat body which is bilaterally symmetrical. Means they are similar both left side and left or right half of the body. We can simply say that bilateral symmetrical means both right and left half of the body is similar. You can see in the picture that left half and right half of the organisms is look like very similar to each other. They have 3 layers of cell, and that's why they are known as triploblastic. They do not have true body cavity. They may be free living or parasite. Parasitic means they are dependent on the other organism for their food and for their living. Examples of Platyhelminthus organisms are Planaria, liverfruit and tapeworm. Here tapeworm is a parasite and Planaria is free living organism. You can see in this picture that this first one is of Planaria, second one is of liverfruit and third one is of tapeworm. Now next group is Nematoda. The characteristic of Nematoda group is they have cylindrical body, and the body is bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. They do not have true body cavity, and they have tissue but no real organ. Means This group of organisms have tissue, different type of tissue, but no real organs are present in this group of organisms. They are parasitic in nature, means they are dependent on the other organism for the living or for the food or for the any requirement. Examples of nematoda are roundworm and pinworm. You can see in this picture, there's first picture is of roundworm and second picture is of pinworm. Next group is Annelida. The characteristic of this group is their body is bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic. They are true body cavity. Their body is segmented, means their body is divided into different segments. There is differentiation in organs, means different organs are also found in this group of organisms. They are found in water and on land. For examples of this group of organism is earthworm, Nereis and leech. These are the pictures of earthworm, Nereis and leech. Now next group is Arthropoda, also known as insect. They have bilaterally symmetrical body and the body is segmented. They have open circulatory system. The body cavity is filled with the fluid. The body cavity is filled with the blood. They have joint legs, and the examples of arthropoda is prawn, crab, cockroach, spider and scorpion and etc. You can see different examples of arthropoda in this picture. These are the different examples of the arthropoda. Now next group is mollusca. The main characters of this group of organism is they have bilaterally symmetrical body. The coelomic cavity is reduced. Here in this group, the coelomic cavity is reduced and there is little segmented, means there are little segment is found in this kind of organism. They have open circulatory system and kidney-like organ for the excretion. They have feet for the moving around, means they have feet for the moving. The examples of mollusca is snail, chiton and octopus. Now next group is Echinodermata. The characteristic of this group is they are spiny-scaled organism. They are free living marine animals, means they are freely living in a marine condition. They are triploblastic and have coelomic cavity. They have water-filled tube feet which help in the movement, and they have hard skeleton made up of calcium carbonate. Their skeleton is made up of calcium carbonate, which is the most important characters of Echinodermata. The examples of this group is starfish, sea urchin, feather star and sea cucumber. You can see in this picture the starfish, second one is a sea urchin, third one is a feather star and last one is the image of sea cucumber. Now next group is Protochordata. The characters of Protochordata is they have bilateral symmetry and triploblastic in nature. They have coelomic cavity. They have notarch, which is the long rod-like structure along its back, which is attached to the muscles and help in the movement to this organism. The examples of Protochordata are Balanoglossus and Amphioxus. You can see in this picture. The first picture is of Balanoglossus, and the another picture is of Amphioxus. Now next group is one of the most important and one of the most highly evolved kind of organism, having evolved kind of organism known as vertebrata, or also known as vertebrates. They have vertebral column and internal skeleton. They have bilaterally symmetry and are diploblastic in nature. They have coelomic cavity, means they have coelomic cavity in their body. Their body is differentiated into tissue and organ. You can look around yourself and you may see the different organism around us which is highly developed and highly evolved. For example, dogs and monkeys. All these organisms are very highly evolved, and these organisms have well developed tissue and organs. Their body consists of four regions. First one is head, neck, trunk and tail. They have two pair of fins or limbs. The respiration in aquatic form is by gills, and on the land is by the lungs. The sexes are separated. In this group, the vertebrates are divided into five classes. They are Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves, and Mammalia. Pisces is also known as fish. Fishes. They are fishes living in water. Means they are fishes. This group include all the fish. Their skin is covered with the scale or plate. They are required using gills. They have streamed body and fins which help them to move in the water. Means their fins are help them to move in the water. They are cold blooded and their heart is only two chamber. They lay egg from which the young one is hatched out. Means they give the egg, and from egg new organisms are come out. Some fishes have skeleton made up of cartilaginous like cartilage like shark and rays, and some have skeleton made up of bones and cartilages like tuna and rahu. These are the different examples of different fishes. Now next group is amphibia, also known as amphibians. They are found both on land and water. That's why they are known as amphibia. They do not have scale, but they have mucus gland on their skin. They are cold-blooded and heart is three-chambered. The respiration is through the gills and lungs. They lay the eggs in the water. Means they lay the egg in the water, and from eggs new animals are come out. Examples of amphibia is frog, toads and salamanders. Now next group is reptiles. The characteristic of reptiles are they have scales and breathe through the lungs. Means this group of organisms have scales and breathe through the lungs. They are cold-blooded organisms. Most of them have three-chamber heart, but the crocodile have four-chamber heart. They lay eggs with the hard covering in the water. The examples of reptiles are snake, turtles, lizards and crocodiles. Now next group is aves, them also known as birds. Commonly it is known as birds. They are warm-blooded animals. They have four-chambered heart and they breathe through the lungs. Means The birds are warm-blooded animals and they have four-chambered heart. They breathe through the lungs and they have an outer covering of feathers, means they have feathers. The important characteristic of birds is they have feathers. Their two forelimbs are modified into wings for the flying and they lay eggs. The examples of birds or aves are crow, sparrow, pigeon, duck, stork, and ostrich. Now, next group is most important and most advanced group of organisms are mammals or mammalia. The characteristic of mammals are they are warm-blooded animals and they have four-chambered heart. Means they are warm-blooded animals and they have four-chambered heart. They have mammary gland. They have gland for the production of milk to nourish their young one. The skin has hair and sweat gland. These are the two main important characters of mammals. First one is they have mammary glands, and for second one is the skin has hair and sweat gland. Most of them give birth to their young one, and some of them lays egg. Examples of mammals are cat, rat, dog, lion, tiger, whales, bat, and humans. So these are the pictures of different mammals. Now next topic is nomenclature. All the living organisms have been given scientific name which can be used to identify them anywhere in the world. Means all the organisms that is present on the earth are given the name, one scientific name that can be used all over the world. The system of scientific naming of organism is called binomial nomenclature. The binomial nomenclature consists of two parts. First part is name of genus and second part is name of specific epithet, and jointly both the names known as species. The ecosystem of scientific naming, the system of scientific naming or nomenclature we use today was introduced by Carlos Linnaeus. This can be asked in exam that binomial nomenclature is given by the answer is Carlos Linnaeus. For example, scientific name of human being is Homo sapiens. Here Homo is the name of genus and sapiens is the specific epithet, and here Homo sapiens known as species. So here we completed our chapter diversity in living organism. Thank you, students.